Yes, back in full effect. Salam alaikum to those that know what's going on. Happy Sabbath day to everybody that's keeping the Sabbath sacred and all that. Y'all know me, Big Mutali, God Body MC, the Edutainor Is live. You feel me? We just giving it a little time for the warm up on the check-in. You know what I mean? Before we get started with this day's dissertation, I'm going to do what I always do on my ones and twos. I'm going to start with Dollaar, and I'm going to stand up for the prayer. You dig? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Satan. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, Master of this day of judgment in which we now live. Thee alone we serve, and thine aid we seek. Ya Allah, guide us on your straight path, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed favors, not the path of those upon whom your wrath is brought down, nor the ways of those who go astray after hearing thy teachings. Ameen. Mashallah, subhanallah, Allahu Akbar, subhanallah, al-Adin. Y'all know the count. We just going, we just getting started on the warm-up side. So bear with me. You feel me? Y'all can see the subject for today, you know what I'm saying? If you thinking ahead, reading ahead, paying attention, the subject for today is hashtag who hurt you? Because this is a question that's been permeating the community and the airwaves and cyberspace. And, it's a good talking point when people want to deflect and all of that. So what we going to do is make our presence felt on the subject. You feel me? And with this subject, this isn't anecdotal. This is something I'm doing for the collective. This is something I'm doing on behalf of the community. You feel me? Peace to everybody that's on the check-in, that's coming through, that'll be here on the twos and fews. Peace to everybody that's going to see it on the playback. You dig? No matter where you at, no matter what you got going on, respect, familia, respect. So, as we get ready to get it going, y'all know what I do, man. I got to go ahead and, play some music. You know I got to do that, right? Y'all know I got to do that. So we going to go ahead and get it going in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. The edutainment is live. Smooth Talk Saturdays, Straight Talk Saturdays, Shoot Your Lights Out Saturdays. You feel me? We going to try to keep it smooth talk, straight talk. I ain't going to turn up too much, you know what I'm saying? I really just want y'all to walk with me, talk with me, and marinate with your boy. So, bear with me while I get the mood music. Y'all know how we do, man. Y'all know how we do it when I'm doing what I'm doing and all that. You feel me? Salam alaikum. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. You dig? Shout out to everybody that's showing love, and shout out to everybody that's on that other type of time. Y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? They only hate when you great. And shout out to those who know Allah is the most great. So we letting people come in. Bear with me, family. What we gonna do is I'm gonna pull up some mood music just to let y'all know how I'm feeling on this Sabbath day. You dig? So bear with me. I'm going to play a couple of songs before I get into the subject. And then at the end, inshallah, I'm going to play a couple more tracks. You know what I'm saying? But it's all going to be mood music. You dig? So, while we get it going, bear with me. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your time. Rocking with me. Y'all could be anywhere in the world on this Saturday.
Oh, yeah, it's going.
But you're here with me. Respect. Some of y'all might remember this.
Going.
Allahu Akbar. Salam alaikum.
Because I couldn't wait till Tuesday.
Love. Some of y'all might remember this, though.
Type of shit you just listen to. Doja Cat, what they do.
Shout out Doja Cat and all that. What that black man say?
Yo,
Bitch, I said what I said. Infamous is off with your head. EP on the way, man, you're dead. Never sold my soul for no bread. Bitch, I said what I said.
infamous is off with your head. EP on the way, man, you're dead. Never sold my soul for no bread. Never made a deal with the devil. Grave digger, so I keep a shovel. I'm the last.
You know what's up, Amelia?
Champion, you not the goat, you fool for.
Peace to everybody on the check-in. Salam alaikum to Familia. You dig? It's all love. Salam alaikum, homie. You know what it is.
Freestyle should be illegal. I'm low to go live, I'm too lethal. Trying to sideline your mind is too feeble. Mentally, I'm strong as 22 people. Venus from the ashes, out is illegal. Break you in half right after your ego. Couldn't see me with a screen panoramic. UFO club invading all planets.
Haters can't stand it. I feel fantastic.
Freestyle
Champion niggas won't challenge.
every Tuesday.
Let's get the energy, family.
Niggas mad, new mad into my pants. All they see is darkness, faded to the blackness. Niggas say I'm heartless, worse than a savage. Retrograde, I'm motherfucking galactic. Every full moon spit, Scorpio magic. Bitch, skateboard right over the course. Part of me from my humanity, but fucking the opponent. When I'm throwing like a focus, trying to turn on locomotive. Pulling the commotion, nigga, I am an explosion.
Boom. I'm a top on, man. What's a goon? Guaranteed to win. You niggas thought I would lose.
Killing instrumentals like I got some approval.
Right.
Turning down shows when I'm not in the mood. When I drop juice, priceless is the appraisal. Black dollar ENT, more than a label. More than entertainment, these are not fables. My hand rule the world and rock the baby cradle. Every year styles is for Christopher Gardner. Superhero music, no sidekicks or partners.
Superhero music, no sidekicks or partners. I'm furious styles, Mr. Christopher Gardner.
Had to say it twice, cause niggas don't hear.
Right.
Boys in the hood pull up on you like Rick.
Right.
First super happiness, they wanna kill me. Every time you hear my voice, you hear the real me. Not guilty, but streets say I'm filthy. They cannot kill me, certified real G. I'm buying that shit, they fucking on the EP. Niggas don't respect it, these bitches don't feel me.
Right.
Haters don't love it, my enemies don't load it. Man, cause I got a hoe taking off their clothing. She do what I say, she under hypnosis. Yeah, she got a man, but she living for the moment. And just tried on my divorce papers. I don't say hoes, I know K.
I said ink just dried on my divorce papers. I don't say hoes, I'm no K. Crusader. Bitch, I said what I said.
Infamous is over your head. EP on the way, man, go dead. Never sold my soul for no bread.
Bitch,
I said what I said. Infamous is over your head.
Right.
EP on the way, man, go dead.
Right.
Never sold my soul for no bread.
never made a deal with the devil. Grave digger, nigga, so I keep a shovel. I'm the last man standing, people champion. You not the GOAT, you fool for the dragon. Never made a deal with the devil. Grave digger, nigga, so I keep a shovel. I'm the last man standing, people champion. You not the GOAT, you fool for the dragon, bitch. We just getting warmed up, Familia.
What you say,
I'm gonna take my time with this one today. Smooth Talk Saturday. Straight Talk Saturday.
Because I couldn't wait till Tuesday.
And bitch, I said what I said. Hold on, bro. We just getting warmed up. Don't get it confused. Don't get it confused. You already know what it do on the ones and the twos. You feel me? Yeah, these small things to large kings, like I said, I'm just getting warmed up, playing a little bit of mood music, you feel me? If you know, you know. Shout out to those that know what's going on. And that's really though. If you was paying attention, last year I dropped that, you know what I'm saying? And then at the end of last year, I dropped a project called Earth, Wind, Fire, and Water. In parentheses, I am the culture, because I am, you know. You know what I mean? Just you know what I mean, paying homage to the legends in the game, the big dogs, the big steppers that paved the way. And there's a couple songs on there that I want to play real quick, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm just setting the tone, mood music and all that. Some of y'all might remember this. If not, get familiar. Get it? Huh? You know it's true, but you try to hide. Yeah. You want my love and you criticize.
it's true, but you try. Yeah, shorty say adoring me, her number one priority. I am the authority, and no one is controlling me. I think she wanna roll with me, cause she know I'm a true thug. Spent my whole life trying to run away from true love. I could tell she been running too, yeah, she a track star. Got me on this track, spinning laps like it's NASCAR. I was counting currency when Jeezy dropped track star. I was conscious when most ethnic quality dropped black star. Ariana, I'm not a rap star, but this is poetry. She love me like Jodeci and say yes like poetry. Never been a sucker for love. It's no exposing. I appreciate her for real, like new groceries. You know that she love her brother like the Philly cheese. Right. Told her if she give me your heart, that it is the key. Right. She do not annoy me and she cannot ignore me. So super fly, other way love story. You want my love and you get it. Black Dollaar Entertainment. Let's get the energy. You know it's true, but you try. Yeah. We got to talk today, family. You want my love and you get it. Huh? You know it's true, but you try. Yeah, my lady, this endeavor is been her pleasure. No metric can measure the size of forever, ever. That's a mighty long time. Maybe not forever, but tonight you know she all mine. Called her in her birthday suit. Yeah, I admire that rhythm of my stroke, feel like an earth, wind, and fire track. Beauty's in the eye of a holder, she inspired that. Bring James and Tina Marie fire in the side track. Told her that it's tighter than a honey nut Cheerio, sweeter than the milk at the bottom of the cereal. I perform miracles, lights on, lights off. If she was the third ship, I wouldn't take a night off. 5 or 6 rounds, like I need to double overtime. She pay me attention, but she pay you boys on never mind. She do not ignore me, cause she know that shit annoys me. So super fly, other way, love story. You want my love, and you get it. You know it's true, but you try. Black Dollaar Entertainment. You want my love and you get it. We just get warmed up.
My mom put me on this type of game. She said in this new wave of love, the new love is I'm finding any reason to leave. The old love is I'm finding any reason to stay.
If you know, you know. We're going to play one more, and then I'm going to say what I got to say and get on with the day. Okay? This one is called Random Thoughts, a.k.a. Bye-bye. You might remember this. If not, get familiar. Earth, wind, fire, and water. In parentheses, I am the culture. Ali is the intimate channel, but Black Dollaar Entertainment is the movement. You feel me?
Provision fell apart, trying to mend broken hearts. I'm just thinking out loud, these my
random thoughts.
Provision fell apart, trying to mend broken hearts.
Gotta let it marinate. Cook it slow, you feel me? Just a random thought. I don't know quite where to start. Out here winning with the sharks, so I built Noah's Ark.
Had to make a safe space to heal my heart was torn apart. Feeling like Jesus, how they try to nail me to the cross. There's a big difference between a leader and a boss. Women who don't know the difference always end up getting lost. I'm the definition of both. I'm never falling off. Thought we was renewing our vows.
I had to call it off.
I done heard it all before, and I done seen it all before. I done witnessed love and matrimony turn into a war.
Hitting below the belt, nobody keep it score. No horse and carriage when the marriage is an open door.
Every September, I remember the traumatic
trauma,
like a cinematic love story filmed in black and
drama.
No gray areas.
Domesticated savage life can't domesticate a savage, even with a savage wife.
These are just random thoughts of images.
Hold up,
yeah, I'm taking all the blame
because it's easier that way.
Put my pen on the page for pain, took the words away. So I took accountability and found the words to say. My responsibility ability was trying to mend the broken.
Listen.
But how can I do it if my own heart is broken apart?
Jesus Christ, baby, tried to nail me to the cross. On my way to the studio, just a random thought. Just a random thought. We just getting warmed up, family. Huh? Provision fell apart, trying to mend broken hearts. I'm just thinking out loud, these my random thoughts. Provision fell apart, trying to mend broken hearts. I'm just thinking out loud, these my random thoughts. Provision is not money. Provision is infrastructure. Listen.
If a man has the ability, the mind, the mental sharpness, and the fortitude to come into your life and provide real infrastructure, then he is a provider. There are seasons in a person's life where they 50 might not look like half the bills, but if he shows up in other ways to supplement and make it make sense, you gotta understand that. And I'm sorry, ladies, I'm not sending this as a shot to discourage you, sending it as a shot to wake up. If the only thing you know of provision is a paycheck, then you know nothing of it. If that's what you think a man being a provider is, you have no clue what a real provider is supposed to do. That's why so many kept women are lonely.
Let's get to it and get through it, you feel me? I just had to go ahead and set the tone. Y'all know what I do when I do what I does and how I does it. You feel me? We gonna go ahead and play these instrumentals, but before we play these instrumentals, we gonna let Machiavelli the Don talk to him. One time.
And I feel like if you walk by a street and you was walking on concrete and you saw roads growing out of concrete, even if it had messed up petals and it was a little, to the side, you would marvel at just seeing a rose grow through concrete. So why is it that when you see some ghetto kid grow out of all of the dirtiest circumstances and he can talk and he can sit across from you, make you smile, make you cry, make you laugh, all you can talk about is my dirty rose, my dirty stems, and how I'm leaning crooked to the side. You can't even see that I came up out of that shit. And that's exactly the analogy that it is for me. You know what I mean?
All right, family, here we go. So we officially getting started. Let me adjust the levels, you feel me? You know I gotta have the music for the vibes, but I need you to hear what I'm saying when I go live. So as I said, beloved, the subject for today is hashtag who hurt you? And why are we discussing this? Because it's such a talking point, you know what I mean? It's such a point of contention, and it's such a statement that's thrown around so loosely, you know, like narcissist, terms like that. You know, terms like gaslight, you know, words like that. You know, borderline personality disorder and all of these things. Well, this is one of the many sayings and slogans and terminology that's thrown around. Who hurt you? Let's talk about it. Now, before I get started, let me just reiterate. This is not anecdotal, familia. You get it, family? This is not anecdotal. I'm speaking to the collective. I represent the micro, speaking to the macro. And I'm going to use data, statistics, and real life experiences to pave the way for what we need to say today. My issue with the question, number one, is it's a disingenuous question. People only ask you who hurt you when they actually trying to hurt you, I notice. They're not asking you who hurt you because they want to help you heal, because they want to help you build, because they trying to blend and bond for real. They trying to, quote unquote, gaslight you. You see what I'm saying? Because the reality of it is, in this world that we live in, everybody's been hurt. In this world that we live in, it's impossible to matriculate and navigate through this life without getting scars, without getting war wounds, without being battle tested and all that. You feel me? So yeah, I want to go ahead and let it be known. Most of the times when you hear that question, it's disingenuous out the gate. Because it's like, yo, why you asking me that? Are you gonna go hurt the person that hurt me? What you gonna go pick a fight with them? What you gonna go check them? Huh? Or are you just hoping that you could take your finger and dig it into somebody's womb? Now, like I said, this is not anecdotal. I personally have never actually been asked that question. Either I don't give off the image that I've been hurt, which I don't think that is. I think people could look in my face and see the pain. I feel like people could look in my eyes and look directly into my soul, Tupac voice. Because my soul ain't been sold and it's not for sale. You feel me? So yeah, people ask that question in a disingenuous way. I've never been asked that question. You see what I'm saying? I go to therapy. Matter of fact, even my therapist has never asked me. So who hurt you, sir? Mr. Mutali, Ariane, where does your pain derive from? So this is not personal in that sense. Now, in the up and coming weeks, I will be getting a little more personal. You feel me? I've sowed seeds and planted seeds. I'm watching ships sail in. I'm watching my stars align. You know, I'm watching the harvest so I can reap what I've sown just like everybody else. You know how that go. You feel me? Exactly. Shout out to my Omi. Salam alaikum. To Sharia Mariam. You feel me? To the trolls, we Billy Go Gruff in here today. I suggest you don't get made famous by the world's most infamous. You feel me? Satch Batch in the building, Black Dollar alumni in the building. Please don't get knocked off the bridge. You feel me? Y'all know how it go. You know what I'm saying? Familia is in the building. My Omi is here. Walaikum salam, rahmatullah, barakatuh. Young Musa Ali is here. Young Easy Amin is in the building, running around. You feel me? We true kings, raising new kings. That's how we do things. But yeah, back to the subject at hand. I've never actually been asked that. You see what I'm saying? But I know people in this world that get asked that question purely out of a gaslight. The whole motive is to provoke you to anger. You see what I'm saying? Let me give an example. As a black man, you might be talking to a sister that you're interested in or that you're actually in a relationship with. Right? You might tell the sister, oh, I love your natural beauty. I think the way the creator created and fashioned you is marvelous. You know what I mean? You are exquisite in my sight. A sister asks you, well, why are you trying to control me? Who hurt you? So somebody hurt me, figuratively speaking, hypothetically speaking. Somebody hurt me because I want to see you in your natural beauty. Maybe you should ask yourself who hurt you. That you need all of this cosmetic, cheat codes. You know what I mean? Now, I know what a lot of women gonna say. Well, we wear that makeup for us. Okay, cool. But why do you need that for you? Like Tupac said in the song, fake hair, fake nails, fake eyes too. So boo, you bound up with fake guys too. You see what I'm saying? So if you want a real man, you gotta be real. You gotta be thorough through and through, internally, externally. Same with the brothers. You want a real sister, the same thing. You know what I mean? But how can you find a real man if you're synthetic and artificial from your scalp to your heels? How does it work? It doesn't work. You want a real man to do what? To destroy him? Inquiring minds just want to know. So my first issue with the question is, it's a disingenuous question. You see what I'm saying? People don't want to help you heal for real. People don't want to help you, overcome your trials and tribulations and heal from the pain that you've endured. As a man, you could be gaslit. A woman could say you're emotional. A woman could claim that you hate women because you're critical of women. If you love somebody, you're not just going to let them go astray and crash out. And if you know, like I know, brothers like me, we've been standing up for sisters all our life. You know what I'm saying? The wicked husbandmen, the weak, cheap boyfriend, we done ran them out of communities. For the women in our life, family, platonic, flesh and blood, loved ones. They'll tell you, man, we running them up out of here. You see what I'm saying? So it's disingenuous to say these things because the reality of it is real men naturally love real women. And real women naturally gonna love real men. No matter how they try to create a narrative of gender fluidity and all this nonsense, you can't stop God's plan. You can't stop Allah's decree. You feel me? Side note, this track right here, fire. Y'all gonna hear this again, I promise. Wallahi. And I don't mean on no YouTube short. I don't mean on no take your head off Tuesday, not no freestyle. I'm talking about in a very real way. You will hear this song. 4/4 belongs to me, E.T. Ali. Just a side note. But yeah, it's disingenuous at best. Because the reality of it is we all been hurt. We should be trying to pair bond and heal together. Identify and be self-aware. Identify with the person that we trying to bond and blend with and build with and move accordingly. But what we've done culturally and as a society, we fall into the habit of trauma bonding. So when you trauma bond, you know the red buttons to push. You know the levers, you know the triggers. So then in a moment of contention, in a heated debate, or even worse, an argument, now I could throw up all your trauma in your face. Now you could throw up all my past trials and tribulations in my face. Why? Because I'm making points that you can't dispute, refute, nor rebuke. So I got to hit below the belt. Huh? It's ugly out here. And this is what we face with in the community, the black community specifically. But it's really not tailor-made to any specific race. Because when you look at the divorce rate, it's sky high, period. You see what I'm saying? And speaking of divorce, I've been married 6 years. You know what I mean? They talk about the 5-year itch. Some people call it the 7-year itch. A lot of people that know about occultism and sorcery or black magic, you know, things like this, witchcraft, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? In the old ancient civilizations of where we use voodoo and we practice these practices, a lot of people fail to understand that your internal struggle is for you. You see what I'm saying? The struggle is ordained. So everything that you've gone through has only been to build you up and make you stronger. The scripture says all things work for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So why you gonna knock somebody for their trials and tribulations? Could it be because the person doing it is unhealed themselves? They running from healing, they running from their own past trauma. We all got childhood trauma. You know what I mean? Issues from the community we was raised in. Issues that might even stem from the household we was raised in. Even though your parents, my parents, our parents, us as parents, those of us that have children of our own, do the best you can. But nothing is perfect in this world. Except he, the big fella, the big man. You know what I'm saying? Only he in heaven that controls life and death is perfect. And he had to create himself out of triple darkness, beginning at a very imperfect stage. And then he developed stage after stage until he reached his eventual perfection. So we, the servants of Allah, the children of God, the sons and daughters of the sun in the pyramids, let us be about the business of the same thing. Because if a person weaponizes your childhood trauma, your quote-unquote daddy issues, your quote-unquote mommy issues against you, merely because you're making points that they can't dispute, refute, nor rebuke, maybe that's not love. Maybe they don't love you like you hope for them to, like you long for them to. Sometimes in this world, we try to fill voids and things like that. You see what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody that's in a thriving, healthy marriage primarily, but relationships period. Because a document on paper does not make or break your bond, but at the same time, marriage is sacred. The institution of marriage came from Allah, God himself. So to everybody that's striving to stay on their post and remain diligent in their duties to their spouse, shout out to you. I've been there. I know how this go. To all of y'all that, you know, might be searching for somebody or you're looking for your person, you know what I mean? They say, seek and ye shall find. You know what I mean? But the best things are worth waiting for. And sometimes you just got to wait for it to come to you. To those of you going through a breakup, going through a divorce, it gets greater later. Ask me how I know. You feel me? If you choose to. But the wise don't really got to ask too many questions because a hint is wise and sufficient for those who know, for those who believe. You know what I mean? It suffices for the wise, but the reminder benefits the believer. So it's a lack of compassion, with the question itself. There's a lack of compassion. There's a lack of compassion amongst us as people in the community. Brothers, sisters, brethren, sisterin. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. All solid points, all solid points, all solid points. Peace to the familia on the check-in, you feel me? But yeah, it's truly a lack of compassion out here, familia. It is. To where a person will try to weaponize what you've been through and use it against you. That's diabolical. You know what I'm saying? It's many double standards in this world. What's good for the goose don't be for the gander a lot of times in this world. People pick and choose when they want to be modern. Well, it's 2025. It's no more gender roles. And women are not just subjected to this role. And men don't have to necessarily be handcuffed to just protecting and providing and carrying the load. You got men out here talking about 50-50. Most of the men who say that, by the way, they was raised by their mama. And shout out to everybody that was raised by their mama. But if you know, you know. See, we come from a community where if you was raised by your father, or if you had a father in your life, if you had a healthy relationship with your father, or even semi-healthy, because like I said, nothing's perfect. In the black community, they'll have the audacity, the mitigated gall to say that you're spoiled because you had a father. But they champion the single mother. Now, to those of us that know single fathers, or I myself could be considered a quote-unquote single father or / full-time dad. That's the term I like. Full-time dad. You know what I mean? Because as long as you got a loss upon the Wata'ila, you ain't never alone. But it's not, we're not viewed with the same badge of honor as these single mothers. The single mothers, and one thing I noticed when I became a full-time dad, a lot of the things that these so-called single mothers complain about, quote-unquote single mothers, it really don't be as hard as they be making it. You see what I'm saying? They claim to be overwhelmed and all of these things. And yeah, I know men and women have different hormones, but men and women have different natures and functions as well. Men and women have different roles and purposes. There is no greater role for a woman, I'm sorry if this offends anybody, than to be a helpmeet. You see what I'm saying? Just because you got married don't mean that she's a wife. You could marry a harlot that don't deserve your hand in marriage, that don't deserve your priesthood, that don't deserve your provision, your dominion, your protection, and all these things that the law require us to provide for our women and our children. She might not be worthy of it. Just because you married her don't make her a wife. The scripture says, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, not he that chooses to get married. Because as men, we control access to marriage, as we know. Women control access to intimacy, or, you know, intercourse, whatever you want to say. We're trying to be clean today. You know the vibes, you know what I'm saying? Grown people talk. Grown people dialogue. You feel me? So yeah, just because you married don't mean that you are a righteous husbandman. Just because you married don't mean you're actually a wife. And people could debate because people make it subjective. Well, what's a good wife? What constitutes a good husband? You know what's not really up for debate? Being a helpmeet. And you know what a lot of these sisters don't want to be? Truth be told, not so, is a helpmeet. They don't want to help a man achieve his highest level of greatness. By the way, long live Angie Stone. If you know, you know. You're going to hear this again very soon on my YouTube shorts and all that. Short and sweets, new content, more music on the way. Yo, yo, yo. Peace, peace, peace. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's love or hate, or whether it's, you know what I'm saying, frenemies, enemies, it all helped the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate anybody that's tuned in and contributing to the discussion. But let's be clear, we having grown folks discussion. You feel me? So it's going to be all mature energy, maturation only. You know what I'm saying? Any foolishness will not be tolerated. You know the vibes, you know the count. You feel me? Exactly. Like my Umi just said, you know what I'm saying, on the live. It's a help me. A lot of people say helpmate. The scriptural, biblical, theological term, the Quranic term is help me, because you help a man as a woman. You help a man achieve and attain the goals that he set for himself and fulfill the purpose that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him to fulfill. That's your greatest job as a woman, not to get a PhD, not to do none of that, not to start a business. All that's cool. I'm not saying you shouldn't aspire to that, but it should never be in opposition to your role as a nurturer, as a nourisher, as the first teacher of the children. You know what I mean? As a man's helpmeet, as a mother to these children. That don't take precedence. And if you in the corporate world, corporate America, you know what I mean, your place of business, and you are calling shots all day, you might be a manager, you might be a supervisor, you might own the building, you might be your own business owner. Do you know how hard it is for these women, sisters specifically, but women period, to go to work and call orders and call shots all day and then come home and then like a light switch, they supposed to just flip on they switch of femininity and submissiveness and turn off they switch of authoritarianism, of being authoritarian and authoritarian? That's difficult. It's a tumultuous task. I wouldn't wish it on no sister, even sisters I'm not fond of, because you're burning the candle at both ends. It might stroke your ego. It might give you some gratification. You might have bills to pay. And if you a single woman or an unkept woman, or you're rebelling against your husband and defying him, then you need to go to work. You know what I mean? Women don't like to discuss the fact that they fought for the right to go to work. They fought for feminism. They fought for gender equality and gender fluidity. They fought to take off they, feminine shoes like heels and put on tennis shoes and work boots. You know what I mean? These sisters don't even be wanting to wear dresses. And if they do, it'll be too short. They want to wear pants like the man. Huh? I mean, do you spit too? Like, what do we, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really spit. That would, if you know, you know. Just a little theatrics. But I mean, how far does the rabbit hole go with this female independence and all of this? Because by default, this is now forced men to adapt. We live in a world, in an era where people can't even define what a woman is. Huh? If you ask a group of politicians, so what's a woman? How do you define woman? They gonna plead the fifth. They gonna be filibustering, pontificating, verbally defecating. They ain't gonna have nothing of substance to say hardly. You see what I'm saying? So it's dangerous. And as a result, men are becoming devolved. They're not evolving. This is the weakest variation of men that we've seen. Men have dropped the ball long ago. But the difference between men and women dropping the ball, men hold each other accountable. You can't be a weak link in a circle of men. Women co-sign each other's fuckery and debauchery all day. Give each other a pass, all of that. You know what I mean? If you know, you know. I done talked to women that have been to prison. They'll tell you. The woman that kill her children, the pedophile, they don't get disallowed from walking the yard. The sisterhood embraced them in prison. Now, if you a man in prison and you done touched children, you done sexually assaulted a woman or anything like that, bruh, they go, what? You can't walk the yard? You gonna check in or you gonna get terrorized in there. And I'm not the only man that have heard this. There are women who have been to prison that say this. And we as men who've been through the penal system, who'd have been locked up, we know that's the polar opposite. Now, we know that we're speaking in general. This is collective. It's always exceptions to the rule, but the exception is never the rule. So it's a lack of compassion. It's full of double standards. It's basically whatever suits your narrative in the moment. To the point now where, as men, naturally, you know, you want a woman in your life. The same way that women want to get married, not the same way, but just from the aspect of male nature. Men also want to get married. But in this day, is it really safe? Is it really smart? Is it really lucrative for your legacy? Huh? Is it really going to help embolden your bottom line? Or is it just going to be another tumultuous task and obstacle? For years, we heard it. Happy wife, happy life. Happy wife, happy life. But her happiness is forever fleeting. So if you trying to, live your life based on her happiness, are you ever going to be happy, sir? Because what gives her exceedingly great joy on Monday might repulse her to her soul in 7 days. Last Monday, she loved it. Next Monday, she might loathe it, which is deeper and stronger than hatred. If you know, you know. If not, Google is your friend and all that. So happy wife, happy life? No. Happy spouse, happy house. Happy man is God's plan. Salam alaikum to the smart guy. Shout out to Smart. You feel me? And all of that. All of those that's thinking men, critical thinkers that refuse to settle, that refuse to just go along to get along, that refuse to acquiesce to a bullshit narrative purely because they fear being alone. Because when you don't fear being alone, here's a cheat code. You rarely are. And when you are, it's by choice. So don't get caught up in that. Like I tell my son, like I tell young men, I'm back on my mentoring tip, by the way. And I mentor young men. Steel sharpens steel. So young brothers, I'm giving them the game. I'm giving them the advice. I'm trying to show them the way as I blaze a trail and pave the way. For myself, for my son, for my progeny, for my lineage, for the prodigy of under me who follow me. If you know, you know. We back on that. Y'all know me, 501c3 certified, community organizer, community activist, youth mentor, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Pillar in the community in a big way, the long way, major figures and all that. Shout out to Fight for Right. Shout out to Wisdom Community. Shout out to the Young Leaders Program. You know what I mean? I'm from 216 Cuyahoga County, Cleveland, Ohio, aka Cleveland, Ohio. And in that city and in that county, I'm the face of anti-recidivism. But guess what? Everywhere we go, it's the same thing. Because it don't matter if you in Tampa Bay, Florida, or Sacramento, California. When we compare notes, men by and large are going through a lot of the same things collectively. You see what I'm saying? Now, are there brothers who come up short? Of course. Are there brothers who are unworthy? Of course. Are there brothers who drop the ball? Of course. But the question is, why are those of us that standing on business, why do we not get highlighted? The same way on social media. If you out here clothing the naked, feeding the hungry, housing the homeless, providing rescue and rest haven to those that are downtrodden and abused, gone astray and or lost their way. You ain't gonna get a lot of likes. You ain't gonna get a lot of viewerships. Your following might not increase. You might not get a larger subscriber account, but let you be on there with the shits. Let you be on there with the drama and gang and bang and oh yeah, views gonna go through the roof. We going viral today. World star, huh? But those of us that's actually trying to purify the community, starting with ourselves and be healthy vessels. Sometimes we get stoned, but when Allah is with you, you don't get stoned to death. They plan, Allah plans, and surely Allah is the best of planners. Now, to go back to the initial topic, who hurt you? As far as black men in the community, the black community hurt black men. How did this happen? Because during slavery, see, when slavery first started in 1555, not 1619, if you know, you know. If not, research is a reward. History rewards those who do research, excuse me. You see what I'm saying? So in 1555, when slavery was first implemented, chattel slavery, antebellum slavery, the slavery we went through, not the Slavic village people. They didn't go through what we went through or any other form of slaves. That was servitude, That was like maids and butlers. Y'all wasn't getting lynched, raped, burned at the stake, or none of that. You wasn't none of that. And if you don't know the history of slavery, please do your research. When slavery first started, it was only men over here. And then in the midst of the 64-year law around the 1619 mark, then they start bringing our women. By the way, that's when the slave revolt started. When they started bringing our women, when they started bringing our children, when they started breeding us to be slaves, purely to build their country and their economic base, which has made them the power in the world today, although their power is dwindling if you're paying attention. So it was black men who stood up on the plantation, the Bass Reeves of the world, the Nat Turners of the world, the Frederick Douglasses of the world, and so on and so forth. Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman too, because the sisters were standing with us too. But it was black men fighting that fight, leading that charge. And yeah, Harriet Tubman had to deal with some quote unquote house Negroes who wasn't loyal. And as a result, she killed some of them. If you know, you know. But that wasn't the black male experience by and large. Those was the scared to death Negroes. And there's a lot of scared to death Negroes still running around here today. So fast forward out of slavery from the plantation to segregation, Jim Crow laws. The marriage rate was higher when we were segregated. You know, when white people didn't want you living next door to them, which a lot of them still don't. You know, when white people didn't want your children attending their children's schools, which a lot of them still don't. You know, when they would kill you for trying to drink out the water fountain they drink out of, for trying to use it. How dare you try to use the same toilet as a white man? It was black men leading the charge. It was black men standing in solidarity with our women and our children. Fast forward to integration. Our businesses shut down. The white man's ice was quote unquote colder, and people was running to spend the black dollar with their oppressor. What happened soon after that? Feminism, welfare, heroin, cocaine. You know the vibes. Just do the research. This is all documented. So in the midst of that, you saw the destruction of the black family. You saw the destruction specifically of the black man, because incarceration went through the roof, drug abuse went through the roof, unemployment went through the roof, domestic violence went through the roof, sickness and ailments and, you know what I mean, self-deletion or suicide went through the roof, all of that. So who hurt the black man? Our own community. It started in the homes. It went to when you go outside in your neighborhood. You hate it because you black. Like I said, God forbid you had a dad. They gonna look at you like you some type of spoiled brat. Because you had a father. Nigga, I'm supposed to have a father. We all are supposed to have our father. But you will get stoned by those that don't have a father. And then those that didn't have a father, and the mothers that were single mothers, they champion. How many times we done heard the Jay-Z story? Pops died, didn't cry, didn't know him that well. Between him doing heroin and me doing crack sales, he said, I was at the tabernacle, rather the church, pretending to be hurt. Wouldn't work, so a smirk was all on my face. Like, damn, that man's face is just like my face. It's the oldest story ever told. Have you ever noticed how your favorite rapper don't never have a dad? And if he does, he's ashamed to say it. Why you think that is? Because you a black man. You're not allowed to have a father. How dare you? How dare as a man you don't abandon your children and perpetuate this narrative, right? So when we talk about who hurt black men, do you really care? Because it was the community. The same way the community crucified the man that you call Jesus. He was crucified by his community. People that saw him perform miracles. He walked on water. He made the dead rise to life. Made the deaf hear, the blind see, the lame walk. Those who were mute, he made them speak. He healed the lepers. He fed the multitudes with a couple pieces of bread and, you know, a little bit of fish. And then the same people that were singing his praises was talking about crucify him and let Barabbas out. And they knew Barabbas was a savage, knew he wasn't trying to do nothing but pillage the village. But this is how your people are doing it. By the way, Jesus was a black man and his features was very similar to mine. If you read the Bible, he might have been my twin brother or something. Why you playing? Huh? What's Snoop saying, baby boy? Quit bullshitting with yourself. Because Jesus fuck around to be my twin brother or something. Huh? Oh, they don't want to hear that. Because when they close their eyes and they think of Christ, They see a white man with long stringy hair. But the scriptures say he looked just like me. Just like me. You feel me? So the same way they did him, fast forward, they doing black men today. Didn't your mama used to tell you, baby, they hated on Jesus. So what make you think they ain't gonna hate on you? From getting nailed to the cross to getting lynched from trees. This is the black man's experience. Even to this day, we up against it. So when we talk about who hurt you, it ain't hard to tell. The same community that was poisoned by the oppressor. Our women were sold a bill of deeds. We got rocked to sleep. Our women was told, oh, you need to fight against your oppressive man. The Caucasian woman was oppressed by her man. We have never oppressed our women in America because we've never had the economic or political leverage in society to do so. Fast forward to today, they try to make the woman the head of the household. This is what we at today. This is what we up against. So don't ask who hurt us. Let's find the healing. And while we talking about who hurt us, the sisters have been hurt too. Not to get too vulgar, but when you intimate with a woman or you making love or you doing what you do, you laying on top of this woman, she's screaming daddy to the top of her lungs. But then to tell you, you got mommy issues. Every man that lay on top of you is daddy, but I got mommy issues. No, you got to get your dumb ass in this casket issues. And this is the funeral service, you feel me? So let's go ahead and pave the way on this Sabbath day. Shout out to everybody, Shalom Alaikum, that's keeping the Sabbath sacred on this Sabbath day. You feel me? Meanwhile, a man making love to a woman, it would be very sick if he was calling her mama. Cringy. But every man that lay on top of this woman, he's her daddy for the moment. But you want to weaponize his childhood trauma? How dare you? You see what I'm saying? When we really look at it, it's diabolical. And a lot of us was born into this. Now, some of us are old enough. Some of the generation X, brothers and sisters, but mainly the baby boomers and older. Remember when it was Black unity and solidarity. Many of us, millennials and, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, even some of Generation X, we wasn't born seeing healthy, happy families and all of that. We wasn't born seeing the man be the head of the household. We was reared and raised under the tutelage, excuse me, many of us, of women. Mothers, grandmothers, aunties, sisters, stepmother, whoever it is. You was raised by a woman, so you defer in default to womanhood. The Bible says that a boy can only do what his father shows him. So if he don't have a man in his life, he can't really grow effectively to be a man. Now, can he find his way? Of course he can, because nothing's more powerful than a made up mind. So if you decide that's what you're gonna do, then that's exactly what you're gonna do. But let's not act like we weren't hindered. Let's not act like we wasn't put behind the 8 ball at the beginning of the game. Shout out to those that shoot pool. You know what I'm saying? It's no village. It's no rites of passage out here. If you notice, in ancient civilization, when a young man reached a certain age, he had to go kill his Simba. He had to go kill his Simba, meaning a lion. And once you prove that you could subdue the forces of nature, the quote-unquote king of the jungle, then you took your rightful place as the true king of the jungle, as the head of the food chain. And you walked into your dominion. The community, the village embraced you as a grown man. You've officially passed your rites of passage. Fast forward to today, ain't no rites of passage. Your rites of passage is, you feel me? Can your stroke game put her down like that? Your rites of passage is, can you fight? Your rites of passage is, can you hustle and get you a couple dollars? And if it's illegal, then you really in the money. Because we glorify that. We glorify the guy that came home from prison more than the guy that graduated from college. If you know, you know. And it's more black men in college than black men in prison. That's another fun fact. If you know, you know. If not, do your research. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's diabolical indeed. Because as all of this was going on, Fast forward to today, we have no rites of passage. Oh yeah, and if you got a talent, if you can sing, dance, rap, play basketball, run a football, that was your rites of passage. So if your stroke game was like that, you feel me, the women was gonna accept you. If you could fight, guys either wanted to hang out with you, or they feared you, or they wanted to be you, or they had this love, hate, jealous, envious, but I still got love for him type relationship. If you was getting money, you was a hustler. Everybody love a hustler. Everybody love somebody that's about their coins, especially in this world of manhood. And if you had a talent or a skill set that was rare, and that you were exceedingly exceptional in, that was your rites of passage. But that's no rites of passage at all, beloved, when we really look at it, when we break it down to the smallest compound. No balance in the upbringing. You see what I'm saying? So now we just winging it. That's why today they can't define what a woman is. That's why today manhood is falling in the street. Have you ever noticed we always hear terms like toxic masculinity, but we never hear about the toxicity that permeates via feminism through femininity. We never hear about that. But in order to have one, you have to have the other. I've been hearing the word misogyny since I was a little boy. Misogyny, the hatred of women. But you know what word I learned in my 30s? Misandry. Common sense. What's misandry? The hatred of men. You can't have one without the other. You can't have misogyny without misandry. And you can't have toxic masculinity without toxic femininity. It's the yin and the yang. It's the heads and the tails of the coin. If you know, you know. The moon got a dark side to it that many people ain't privy to. So fast forward to today, how are we finding our rites of passage? What are we doing? We winging it. If you look at it, brothers is winging it. You know what I'm saying? It's an old ancient proverb from the motherland, now known as Africa, that goes like this. A child left in the cold by the village will burn down the entire village to keep himself warm. Fast forward, now you got people selling drugs, using drugs, robbing, stealing, killing, terrorizing, crashing out, not building, but destroying. Why? Because they feel destroyed inside. You got sisters out here setting up their brothers. He think he going to get some boxing. He really going to get boxed in. Don't ask me how I know. You feel me? So it's diabolical indeed. If you know, you know. You feel me? Let us be found on the right side of history, because the truth is our rites of passage is fulfilling the duty that Allah gave us to fulfill. As a man, you are a builder, you are a destroyer. You are the priest of your family. Let's bring priesthood back. I'm working on bringing the brotherhood back in the name of fatherhood, so our children can see this is how men lock arms in solidarity. Their unity is a beautiful thing. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. The minister said more powerful than a nuclear bomb. And here we are on the brink of nuclear warfare, but we're still fragmented. Why? Because it's all about self. The iPhone, the iPad, the selfie stick. It's the selfish generation. Self-absorbed. They say that Satan's favorite sin is vanity, you know. Vanity, that which is vain, that which is empty, that which is worthless. Because if you only live it for yourself, that's a vain existence. And when you die, you will not be remembered if you only live for yourself. You see what I'm saying? So let us be found on the right side of history. Your rites of passage is, as a man, provision, protection. You see what I'm saying? Provision and protection, maintaining and sustaining that which you are responsible for. Husbandry and all of these things. This is our rites of passage, black man. So if you know, you know, you feel me? We got to restore the balance. We got to restore the order. And those of us that standing tall and standing strong, do me a favor, find somewhere else to throw your stone at. because I'm not your enemy. And you ain't got a stone enough to knock me down by Allah's permission, assistance, and divine intervention. If you know, you know. I've been doing this a long time, familia. If they could have knocked me off my pivot, they would have did it a long time ago. If they could have knocked the king off his throne, they would have done it long time ago. But here we are. Very much to do, very little to say, which I've been talking for roughly an hour, by the way. Man, time flies when you speaking truth to power. We gonna begin to wrap this up. But just know it's a very real thing. Before you ask somebody who hurt you, ask yourself who hurt you. Ask yourself, what are you doing to heal? And then what can we collectively do to build for real? In a healthy way. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing to, trauma bonding is the order of the day. Yeah, it is, but trauma can be healed, you know. Time heals all wounds. Allah came to make the crooked places straight. So what's going on? What skeletons is in your closet and mine? What dead bodies is it buried in your backyard and mine? They teach you in Narcotics Anonymous, Alcohol Anonymous, you're as sick as your secrets. These are the things they tell you. This is the jargon. This is the verbiage. They tell you that the first step to recovery is what? Admitting that you have a problem. So don't knock those of us that have identified the fact that we have healing to do and are about the business of actually healing. Look in the mirror and hold yourself accountable. And speaking of accountability, sisters, we need y'all to do better with this whole accountability thing. The fact that you got a whole running joke out here like 100 women versus accountability, who you think gonna win, speaks volumes. Because it's one thing when I'm saying it in private to the woman I love, you don't ever take accountability. It's one thing for me to make a 3-minute song or a 4 or 5 minute song expressing my grievances with the fact that most of these modern day women do not take accountability. It's another thing for it to become a living, breathing narrative. In the words of Professor Griff, we need to pay attention to that particular dynamic. You feel me? We just do. Because men, by default, you forced to take accountability. Have you ever noticed that the term good man is objective? It is objectively defined. You gotta provide, you gotta protect, maintain, sustain. You gotta be a man of God. You gotta get the bag. You gotta be up and going, a go-getter, etc., etc., etc. It's very objective. The definition is objectively defined, right? But when it comes to what's a real woman, that's subjective. You see? And this is why they out here talking about what's the real definition of a woman, because it's so subjective. You understand what I'm saying? It's subjective. A good woman could, because if you ask a man gonna say it's a woman that is a nurturer, a woman that is a healthy vessel, the wind beneath your wings if you as the man are the bird flying high. She got your back, but you out in the front. You see what I'm saying? In ancient civilization, she was the throne that the king sat upon. We could go on and on and on, but today it's subjective. It's subjective as far as what's a good woman, but it's objective when we talk about what's a real man. That's why you got women who have the audacity. They are literally audacious enough to look you in the face and say, well, a real man would do this, and a real man wouldn't do that. But as a man, fellas, brothers, if you was to tell a woman, you not being a real woman, sister, beloved, you not standing on business. I know some women that'll put you to shame in the sisterhood, in the world of femininity, in the world of womanhood, in the world of motherhood. You see what I'm saying? They'll get bent out of shape, but they'll pick the hill to die on, telling you you're not a real man, and this is what a real man would or would not do. We got to knock that off, family. We got to knock that off, family. Sister, this is my plea to you. come home. To the brothers that need to come home, that's gone astray or lost their way, or you didn't have an example of a man growing up, listen, bro, come home. Let us be like the prodigal son, because what was once lost eventually is found in a lost sight. Let us be on the right side of history. If being a good man is objective, then being a good woman is objective. If being a good woman is subjective and we can make it up as we go along and wing it, and well, my definition is my truth and your truth, that's cool for you, and moving the goalposts, man, we gotta stop all that, family. We are at war, huh? You cannot have a healthy nation without healthy communities. You can't have healthy communities without healthy families, and we ain't gonna never have no healthy families until we get our goddamn households in order. That's just the unadulterated truth. No pun intended on the unadulterated truth. If you know, you know. If you don't, stay tuned. You might learn a thing or two or a few. You feel me? That part. So yeah, we gonna get ready to land this UFO, because trust and believe I got to go. It's the Sabbath day, you know what I'm saying? On this Saturday, it's a rainy day. Allah answer prayers during the rain. So make your du'as. Stay prayed up. I know I am. I'm encouraging my son to. I had to teach my son how to pray and how to lead the way. Not just on some days, but every day. Huh? Because I could go tonight. I might not see tomorrow. This could be my last day. He got to be able to stand in solidarity. Because one day he's going to grow and have to deal with his rites of passage. One day I pray that he's the head of his household, the priest of his family, a father for his children, a healthy husbandman to his wife. I tell my son all the time, hey, these little girls your age, they not being raised to be your wife. They not being raised to be a help me. They being raised to compete with you. They being taught anything you can do, I can do better. Sound familiar? I can do anything better than you. No, you can't. Yes, I can. This is how they're being raised. So I'm going to teach my son to just be this heartthrob, lover boy, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo, overzealous, overexerted gentleman to be taken advantage of by this modern day woman. You a goddamn lie. Black voice. I ain't mean to say that shit, girl. I was goddamn high. Black voice. If you know, you know. And that's really though. Now, I'm not going to raise him to be a savage, but I'm not going to raise him to be a pushover for your daughter. It ain't going to happen, Captain. He gonna have knowledge of self, a healthy knowledge of self. He gonna have a relationship in the covenant with his creator. He's gonna know his divine purpose on this planet, and he gonna fulfill it, inshallah, by Allah's permission. And I believe Allah is more than willing. These are conversations I had with my son, because they not telling their daughters, be submissive to a man. Don't put your hands on a man. He's stronger than you. If you don't want a man putting your hands on you, keep your goddamn hands to yourself. They not teaching little girls that. They're really not. I mean, if you just keep it a bean, if you just keep it a beanstalk, Jack, they not teaching their daughters that. They are literally teaching their daughters to defy men. They are literally teaching their daughters, you don't need a man. In fact, you better off with a man. But the Creator made us interdependent and social beings by nature. The truth is, sister, you do need a man. Just like a man needs a woman. The Bible says man was not made to be alone. God did not create man to be alone. This is a fact. So much so that if it come down and it get too toxic, you could have more than one spouse or zauja. I know a lot of sisters don't hear that, even though a lot of y'all already sharing a man. Polygyny came from God because the world had got so sin sick. You feel me? That's a fact. Polygamy is something that was made up along the way on some, well, if you can do it, I can do it. And this polyamorous lifestyle, how you gonna be a mother in more than one household? How you gonna be a wife? Don't even answer that. The answer is you can't. But to all of the women Sisters specifically, because I love black women specifically. I got love for all women, but I love my sisters, and I'm not going to be apologetic for that. Sister, you was not made to be more than one wife to more than one man. You're not even built like that. You're not even wired like that. You was not made to be a mother in more than one household. Let's stop acting like it's not men out here neglecting their own children, but playing stepdaddy to your little rugrats, to your little crumb snatchers. He ain't seen his children in 365 days, 366 in a leap year. But he's sitting around with you and yours. And you'll allow it because you're self-absorbed, sister. You're very vain and selfish. So he can neglect his children could die. You don't give a damn. More time for you and yours. More money and resources for you and yours. We got to stop this. Because if you being a single mother is a badge of honor, you can't knock a man that's trying to be in his children's life. I thought we needed black men to step up. Huh? See, these are the things that hurt black men. Do you care or do you hate black men? Because a sister will look you in your face and tell a bold-faced lie and say you hate women, knowing she hate men, starting with her father. But here it is, my mama in my chat. Salam alaikum, Omi, that's Sharia Mariam. If you know, you know. Me and my mom talk on a semi-regular basis. But a woman to tell me I hate women and she can't even look her father in the eye. Message, water break, let that marinate. You feel me? I ain't even gonna turn up on y'all today. Because I'm really too cool for school and too polished for college. Huh? They don't offer you this body of knowledge and they brick and mortar. Huh? That's why your children is failing because of boredom. Because they not teaching them. Tap into your God particle. True education is not imparting information in you. True education is finding your gift, cultivating it, and extracting it. For the betterment of yourself, for the betterment of your community, for the betterment of the world. That's true education. It's not learning a bunch of useless goddamn information. Huh? Huh? Look at the prison. School to prison pipeline. Excuse me. Look at the school to prison pipeline. Look at the fact that most of the inmates in correctional facilities, whether it's a male prison, a female prison, I don't give a goddamn LGBT, elemental P prison, I gives a damn. State prison, federal prison, open dorm, supermax. 80 to 90% of us that got locked up was raised in a household where the women called the shots. Fun fact, or not so fun fact, but then you want to stone the black man that's actually standing up. I thought we needed black fathers. I thought black fathers matter. These scallywags be acting like they hate to see you coming. The oppressor act like they hate to see you coming. The police gotta respect it, but they don't like it. They hate to see you coming. Because a lot of these goddamn police is beating on their women, abusing their children. A lot of them is alcoholics. Not functional, by the way. Because to say you a functional alcoholic or you function on cocaine is a total oxymoron. Let's make our way back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm saying this out of love. I ain't saying this to, you know what I'm saying, bloviate or pontificate. I'm not trying to filibuster. You know what I'm saying? I came to speak truth to power. That's it. Let us come back to the straight path. For the road to hell is wide open. The straight path back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is narrow, beloved. It's narrow. It's a lot of snares on that straight path. It's loopholes. It's a long journey. But the race is not to the fast, to the strong, to the swift, to the powerful. It's to he or she that can endure to and through the end. So let us be found on the right side of history. Let us endure to and through the end. Manhood is not subjective. What a good man is, it's not subjective. And guess what? Being a good woman is not either. So if you don't want a man getting on your head about how you suck at keeping house, how you suck at being a nurturer, Huh? How you suck at being his #1 supporting cast member? Stop throwing it up in his face what a quote-unquote real man do. We love you. We don't want to embarrass you, sisters. Let's come home. Let's come home. Or don't. Because some of y'all been going astray so long, being astray is your home. Message. Had to let that marinate. Had to let the beat drop on that one. Remember, you gonna hear this beat again. Wallahi, shout out to the 144,000. If you know, you know. In a world full of 8 billion people, 144,000 is a very small number. And that's just really though. So it ain't for everybody. But I'm gonna say it as loud and as far as I can. For I am the master of my abilities, I control my destiny, and I'm ruler over all that I survey through my third eye scope. That's just what it is. So yeah, normally I take notes when I do this. For the past couple weeks, a few weeks, I just been shooting from the hip. I ain't been taking no notes. I took notes today. Wrote down some bullet points because it's things specifically that I want to address and touch on. You feel me? We don't want to just mull over it and gloss over it. Nah. And it's more we could say. We could go deeper. But like I said, I got very much to do and very little to say. We already been talking for about 1 hour and a quarter. So we gonna get ready to wrap up. But yeah, man. Before we go, I want to point out something else. It's just something to consider. You know, in this world, right? Some people seek therapy, some people don't. I have sought out therapy. I am currently undergoing therapy sessions and whatnot. And I noticed that male and female therapists, not all of them, but some of them will have to say collectively that 90% of the women in the world do not qualify for the man that they claim to want. They don't even qualify. And a lot of times you can't even tell them that, according to the therapist. You can't even tell the client that in the session, because then you're going to lose the client. But the truth should reign supreme over all of these miscellaneous things. You see what I'm saying? The same way a therapist will try to put you on meds. Why they trying to put you on meds? Because they get extra money. They get commission. If you sign off on medication, don't let them get you and you sign off for your children to take medication. Because now if you're not giving them, the children that medication that you agreed to the state that they must take, because now it's a mandate. You know they'll come take your children. So a therapist, instead of just wanting you to heal, for real, they might be incentivized to throw you a bunch of prescriptions. Let's drown them in all these different psychiatric medications. Huh? Pharmacopoeia, psychotropics, and all of that. If you know, you know. This is all sorcery, by the way. This is all ritualistic. So a lot of times your therapist might not have your best interests at heart because they trying to run up a bag. Same way as a pregnant woman, right? When you're giving birth and you're undergoing labor, right? Did you know that the doctor gets paid more money if they cut you with a knife? Meaning if they give you a C-section? They don't get paid extra for being a healthy birth, a natural birth, no complications. No. They get paid based on whether or not they had to perform surgery and put you under that knife. So what if I'm a doctor and I'm behind on my mortgage? Uh-oh! Message. Had to walk off the camera on that one. Don't worry, we back. I just want you to think about it. If you're a doctor and you behind on your mortgage, you might incentivize the woman that I love to get an epidural, to get a C-section, to get a surgery that thus otherwise, other than the fact that you're in debt, she really didn't need a surgery. So we can't even bring our children into this world in a healthy environment. We can't even go get the healing we need in a healthy environment because most of these therapists can't even goddamn relate to you culturally, but they getting paid to talk to your dumb ass. Uh-oh. Water break. It's getting hot in here, ain't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, buddy. It's just the truth. You feel me? It's just the truth. So, with all of these things being said, it must be said. In the Quran, Allah tells Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, "O Muhammad, deliver the message, for if you deliver it not, then you have not delivered the message," meaning you failed on your duty. Simple words. Then it goes on to say, "But if you deliver the message, I will surely protect you from men." So be emboldened, black man. Stand on the truth as you know it. Don't be hush-hushed and muzzled and shuffled to the side and rocked to sleep. And you feel me? The man represents Father Time. The man was the griot. The man was the guru. That's why it's called his story, because we write the story. We pass down these stories from generation to generation to generation. We are the preservers and the keepers of the culture. So instead of mocking us, talking about who hurt you, it might be in your best interest to see to it that we get the proper healing. Just a thought. Because for those of us natural men that naturally love our natural women that Allah naturally placed in your natural black ass life, you want her to heal. Not just for you, but for her. You want her to be happier. You want her to, exude in happiness. If she happier, the children gonna be happier. If she's smiling more, the children gonna be more gleeful and giddy and all that good shit. But if she laying in the goddamn closet crying every day, because she really ain't healed from her mommy issues, but she want to weaponize yours against you, she can't even look her father in the eye. But meanwhile, you might have a relationship with your dad. But she'll, in order to try to silence you and the poke holes in your argument, she'll start hitting below the belt. Some of these sisters, you can't even have an intellectual conversation with them because they gonna get so triggered by the fact that they're losing the debate. Now she gotta trigger you. And if she trigger you loud enough and hard enough, you'll get tricked right off the streets, black man. If you know, you know. We ain't going out like Willie Lomp. We are not falling for the banana and the tailpipe Beverly Hills Cowboys. If you know, you know. And that's really though. So yeah, man, let's be clear. As I close out, I want to make this point. I want to make a couple more points as we begin to close out. In this world, right, I've been blessed to meet a lot of people from a lot of different walks of life. One thing I could say is I've met a lot of atheists in this world, or people who claim to be atheists, most of which, if not all, are men. I'm going somewhere with this. Just follow me. Men who don't believe in God will articulate why they don't believe in God. Now, I don't agree with them. I know that the divine exists. I know that they're grossly mistaken and they are in error. However, I've never met a dumb atheist. All the atheists I know are informed. They're very inquisitive. They have inquiring minds. And they typically ask questions that religious folk who really don't have no religion, they're just claiming a religion, they can't goddamn answer the question. So now the atheist is like, see, I'm asking, it's just a question, and your dumb ass can't answer. So now they like, see, this is why I don't believe in God. Because all of the quote unquote believers, this is what they say, look dumb. You see what I'm saying? Now, when they run into a brother like me, they freeze up. This that roadblock, big fella. This is the unmovable object, or immovable object, excuse me. You heard of the unstoppable force of the immovable object? This that roadblock, buddy. And in any debate, whoever I was debating usually ended up as roadkill. Clean up on aisle second. You know the vibes. But most of these people that claim religion, they don't really have a covenant with the Creator. They don't. They saying what their mama told them to say, or what their grandmama told them to say, or what their preacher told them to say. They know the movie, The Greatest Story Ever Told, more than they actually know the Bible. Ain't never read the Bible cover to cover, but they've seen The Greatest Story Ever Told a dozen times. That's a problem. And you call yourself a believer. We got to do better. Mind you, in that movie, all white cast, but we know all of the prophets were black men. Black men. Oh, but you want to know who hurt you. What we doing? What we talking about? So the point I'm making is this. I've discovered here recently that a lot of sisters are closet atheists. You know how you trapped in the closet? R. Kelly boy. You know what I'm talking about. They're closet atheists. They won't say out loud, I don't believe in God. But if you look at their life, if you look at the fruit they produce or the lack thereof, if you listen to their talking points, you will see that a lot of these women are purely ungodly. Now, a man that's an atheist, he ain't gonna hide it. He gonna say it out loud. I don't believe in your God, and this is why. The woman gonna try to make you think the women that this applies to. Not all, but some of them. They gonna try to convince you that they believe in God, but all the while, they're defying God. Black man, you wanna know why she won't submit to you? My nigga, she don't even submit to God. You wanna know why she's defying you? Young man, she defy God. So how would she not be defiant in your sight? And the supreme being who gave her life and will cause her death, who's allowing her to have health, who's allowing her to have food, clothing, and shelter, etc., etc., etc. We can never count the abundance of blessings. She is thoroughly and grossly ungrateful to God. So how she gonna appreciate you? Message. Had to walk off the camera, family. Had to walk. Y'all know the vibes. Had to walk off the camera. Let me clear my silences. If you know, you know. So yeah, I have discovered that a lot of these sweet, syrupy sisters ain't as sweet and syrupy as some of us would like to think. Some of them really don't believe in God like you think. Here you are calling her to prayer and you feel resistance. What's this tension? What's this resistance? Because if I was calling her to watch my 600-pound life message, she'd be, she wouldn't blink. But I say, listen to a Farrakhan lecture, I'm up. Bitch, you ain't up. Get your dumb ass. Had to walk off the camera. You know the rest. But she believe in God. She pick and choose what part of the Bible that she want to adhere to, and or the Quran. When it suits her narrative, when it tickles her fancy and it play into her agenda of what she want to do and what she want to see, then she'll play the religious game. When it's, I don't want to do that, then it's, you're oppressing me. I wish some of y'all sisters would just admit, y'all got a problem with God because God is a black man. The black man is God, Elijah Muhammad voice. The black man is God, Louis Farrakhan voice. The black man is God, Malcolm X. You know the vibes. That's why some of y'all have a problem with us. Because I'm made in the first image and likeness of God. The woman is the second self of God. So who's the first self? Message. But they don't want to hear that. They want to fake it till they make it. Only you're not going to make it, fake it. Dumbass. It's just a fun fact. So, brother, watch out for the closet atheist. The girl that don't believe in God on the low. Shh. Don't tell nobody. R.P. John Witherspoon. Don't tell nobody that she don't believe in God. Because she got a fake image to uphold, you know. She got a facade she's trying to perpetuate, you know. God forbid she just stand on business and say, I don't believe in your God. Now what, nigga? But a man to say it. So who hurt you, sister? Because you defy God, you defy your parents, you defy your spouse, your husband, and everybody else. You shirk your duties. What we talking about? If you know, you know. And like I said, this ain't anecdotal today, but in the very near future, I'm going to show receipts, invoices. We going to qualify and quantify these notes that I'm taking with real life experience, my own. Because experience is the most effective teacher, if not the best of teachers. So watch out for these women that don't believe in God on the low. Last point before we get ready to go. You know the term, good girls like bad guys. Good girls like bad guys. Now, when you want to get to the root of something, you ask why. You don't ask who, what, when, where, how. You ask why, right? So, in this world, we know good girls like bad guys, or at least that's the saying. And there's many reasons why. But let me share a reason with you why that some of y'all have never thought about. Did it ever dawn on you? Say I'm a bad guy, right? And I find me a goody two-shoes bougie girl from the suburbs, right? She not thugnificent, she not with it, but she got a fetish for it, right? Every time y'all have a conflict, she's the quote-unquote good girl. I'm the quote-unquote bad guy. So I'm going to take all the blame because I'm the bad guy, right? I should just be lucky to be with her dumb ass, right? She's such a good person. She's such an innocent person. She's such a nice person. Look up the definition of nice and call me in the morning. Not the definition you was taught, the actual English definition. Then ask yourself, is she nice? Look up the term sophisticated. Because we use these terms loosely and then the nigga be like, words matter. Do they really? Then define etymology and philology, since words matter, with your dumb ass. Huh? Oh, okay. So back to the subject at hand. The good girl like bad guys phenomenon. She like bad guys because she can place the blame on him. And by the way, the bad guy is sporadic, spontaneous. You're going to have a lot of great makeup sex. It's going to be toxic. And a lot of these women love toxic shit because they be bored. They want a nigga that's going to spice their life up, and they really be liking the drama on the low. That's why a lot of these men indulge in that shit because he want to do whatever going to get him a woman or some women. So if wearing a bunch of shiny shit, if driving big fancy cars, if, you know, being braggadocious and bravado and machismo and all that shit is going to attract her to him, that's what he's going to do. Now let's flip the coin. Let's say she got a good guy. The good guy's going to hold her accountable. The good guy going to want her to improve. The good guy going to have a schedule and an agenda and a purpose for her to fulfill. The good guy's going to have a metric by how he determine whether or not she's actually a good girl. The bad guy don't give a fuck. He want to kick his feet up, sit at the house, drinking your baby juicy juice because you get wick, eating your baby's cereal because you get stamps, drop your dumb ass off at work, ride around in your car all day, have another broad in your back seat giving back shots. And then when that shit don't work out for your dumb ass, now all men ain't shit. No, your choice in men ain't shit. And you need to get your shitty ass in that toilet or get your dumb ass in this casket. But either way, stop running around asking real niggas who hurt you. It's corny. The question is who hurt you and why are you perpetuating your own pain today? Because what you're not going to do is perpetuate my pain. How you gonna mock somebody from having scars that they healed from and lessons that they learned as a result of what they went through? How dare you? When you ain't even trying to heal, some of y'all. What we talking about? So yeah, the good girls like bad guys thing, it's a farce. She like bad guys because she don't want to be held accountable, and this asshole is going to do anything but hold her accountable. He's actually hoping she don't level up, she don't smarten up, she don't enhance or advance and become spiritually enlightened, become wide awake and aware. He want that broad to be hashtag woke or flat out sleep with your dumb ass. Then after you spend 7 years, 10 years or more with this bum, now you want a nigga like me to come pick up the pieces. Bye, Felicia. I ain't gonna hold you, baby girl. Bye-bye. You are the weakest link. Bye-bye. On the guys. Oh my God. So it's more than I could say. But I've been talking for about an hour and a half. So we gonna get ready to get up out of here. You feel me? But I'm just dropping some jewels, you know what I'm saying? I'm too hood for Facebook. I'm too street for IG. My nigga, I don't go back and forth on Twitter. I'm real hip hop. I'm not TikTok, but I do drop jewels for these new school fools on YouTube. You feel me? So that's what we came to do. And now that I did it, I gotta go. But I just wanted y'all to think about some things. Don't fall for that good girls like bad guys shit. Good girls like not being held accountable. Good girls like being able to hide the fact that she's not so good herself. And if she was to go get her a Poindexter, white collar, sophisticated, Fortune 500, I talk through my nasal, I wear glasses, and I, you know, in my Brian Gumble voice, you know. She ain't gonna hang with him. Because she can't blame him. Because on paper, he's a good guy, but his soul might be corrupted. Meanwhile, the quote-unquote bad guy, he got some flaws, but he really got a good heart. And most of these bras be wanting to play with your heart. Don't fall for it, black man. Don't get tricked off the streets. Be the husband you supposed to be if you've been called to husbandry. If you got a beater or cheater, you don't need her, nigga, leave her. Ask me how I know. I'm telling you, in the next couple months, I'm going to be exposing some people. Yeah, and I'm going to have receipts and invoices for everything. I've been sparing some people for a long time. Long time. You see what I'm saying? Last year, I did a whole video called Surviving the Single Mother in America. I took it down out of respect, out of love, because I really didn't want to come off vitriolic. Because they quick to say, oh, you're scarred, you're jaded, you're hurt. Oh, who hurt you? Don't ask me no dumbass questions, because I'm going to slap you as I'm giving you this smart ass answer, whether physically or figuratively. That part. So yeah, brother, don't fall for that. Be good for goodness sake. Be great for goodness sake. Be right for righteousness sake. You are a servant of Allah and a vessel of Allah. You don't answer to her. Huh? And if she can't get on your program, leave her. I hate to say it, but this is what it is. Because, sister, you was put on this planet to be a helpmeet. So help that man of God fulfill the purpose God had for him, or get your dumb ass. Can we get it together? We gonna slow it down. I ain't come to have a casket match with y'all today. You feel me? We gonna slow it down. SWV on the sample. Shout out to Trash Bag Beats. Shout out to everybody on the check-in. Salam alaikum to Sharia Mariam, one of my grandest of supporters. It's a beautiful thing to have your mom on the live supporting you in a world where they'll try to act like because you wasn't raised by your mother full time that you must have hopeless mommy issues. But my mama in the chat. Salam alaikum. Where your mama at, lady? Huh? Huh? Are you holding her accountable for making you a shitbag? No, you're not. Where's your father at? Because I could call my father right now on my other phone. I guarantee you he answered. I guarantee you we can have a healthy conversation. Can you talk to your dad? No. That's why every man that lay on top of you, you scream daddy at the top of your lungs. Could it be? She talking about choke me, spank me, pull my hair. Choke you, spank you, and pull your hair. You don't need no dick. You need an exorcism round this bitch. Your soul sick. And brother, if you lay down with her, you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. Big mama might have taught you that. Auntie and them might have taught you that. Your mama might have taught. But if you didn't, this is some good news you can use. Huh? Don't get tethered and handcuffed spiritually to somebody that don't deserve your energy, and they know you don't deserve your energy, but they gonna gaslight you until you go up in flames. If you let them. I'm not gonna let them. That's just me though. And I want for my brother and my sister what I want for myself. So now, I know I just said it a couple times, but I really mean it. We gotta go, baby. We got to go. But I just had to say that. I think I touched on everything. You know what I'm saying? Accountability got to be the order of the day. I can't stress that enough. You see what I'm saying? Stay solid, brother. You know what I mean? To the women out here raising daughters, stop ruining your daughters. Last week I said something I want to correct. What I intended to say last week was women are out here saying that their daughters have an aversion for men. Last week I said they have an aversion for women. I did not mean to say that. Your daughter have an aversion for men or towards men because you her mama. She hate men because you hate men, and you taught her directly or indirectly to fucking hate men. Now she's a young lady, grown woman, and she can't navigate and matriculate and figure out her way through her femininity because you ain't even teach her to clean her blood off the toilet when it's that time of the month. But you want to talk about an aversion to men? I think you raised her for men to have an aversion to her. Shout out to all the daughters out here that know that they'll help me, even if their mother was a dirtbag and told them the polar opposite. Because I know some young ladies that when they got grown, they got the hell away from their goofy ass mama and her unrighteous, unruly rhetoric. Got away from her big, belligerent, bloated, bougie grandmama and her debaucherous rhetoric. Yeah, buddy. Shout out to them that said, no, she is going to be a help me. Stick by that man. Be an example for your mother. You know the example that she should have been for you? If you know, you know. If you don't, stay tuned. Huh? But we got very little to say and very much to do. That's just from me to you on the up and up. So, yeah, I wanted to correct that because what I intended to say was these daughters are being raised to have an aversion towards men, starting with their own fathers. And then they get grown, they gonna be mad at their mama. You never taught me how to be feminine. You never taught me about hygiene. You never taught me how to submit to a man. You never taught me how to value a man. You taught me a man was a goddamn object. These women be out here telling their daughters, if you got a wet vagina, you should never have an empty purse. What? So you're encouraging her to be a prostitute? Get your... You can't be serious. You encouraging your daughter to be a prostitute on the low. What are we talking about, man? We got to do better, family. In the name of the community and common unity, let us be found doing better, and let us be found on the right side, not the wrong side of history. Whose story? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's. Make sure your name is highlighted and emboldened in the book of life. And not mauled over, you know, like Lot's wife. Lot's wife is not mentioned in the Bible or the Quran, you know. Lot's wife was married to a prophet. That prophet had a cousin who was also a prophet. You know, Abraham. Lot and Abraham were like cousins. So here Lot's wife is, her husband is a prophet, her cousin-in-law is a prophet, And the angels came to warn her husband, get the hell up out of Sodom and Gomorrah, because bitch is going down tonight. And what her dumb ass do? Turned on her heels. Because she was so in love with this sick, secular, satanic, sodomist world, she was turned into a pillar of salt. You know how you tell a nigga, oh, you salty? Like some of the bros that's gonna watch this video, and some of you mama's boy niggas too, salty. Yeah, Lot's wife energy, Jezebel energy. Huh? Delilah energy. We could go on and on and on. God told Eve in the beginning of the Bible, you will always seek dominion over the man, but the man will always rule over you. Rewind. DJ, bring it back. For all my reggae, Pondy River, bring it back one time. The Bible says, God speaking to Eve, the vessel, the feminine vessel, and the helpmeet for Adam. He said, you will always desire dominion over the man, but the man will always rule over you. Now look outside and tell me if that ain't true. Fuck if you believe in the scriptures or not. Tell me that that part of the Bible ain't true, so we can know who the liars are in the room. Okay, so I think I've made my point crystallized. That means clear, translucent, and transparent. Look it up, Jason Black voice. Shout out to the Black Authority, by the way. Black Dollar Street Scholars in the building. We are the new black media. Like it or love it or loathe it or get your dumb ass in this casket. That part. Really though? If you know, you know. So stand solid, brothers, sisters. Let's raise our children to be better than us. Let's not raise our boys to have an aversion towards women. Let's not raise our young girls to have an aversion towards men. Let's raise boys to be husbands. And maybe you should raise your daughter to be a wife. The wife you failed to be. Uh-oh, gotta go. I got to go. Let's be better parents, because a lot of y'all are terrible parents, and y'all make parenthood look like a goddamn prison. So how you think your children feel with your inmate face ass? Sometimes this motherfucker the inmate, sometimes they want to be the warden. Your child is the real prisoner of the state. Your child is not a pawn. Your child is a gift from the Most High, true and living God, whom we affectionately call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I want for my brethren what I want for myself and my sister. I'm leading by example. So all these things I'm saying, I'm doing it, have done it, I've lived it, I'm living it. The world's most infamous. Go argue with your mama. Because my mother approved this message. And like I said, this is not anecdotal, but I'm tired of y'all gaslighting men, specifically black men. Being a single mother is not a badge of honor. Being a mama's boy don't make you Clark Kent in this bitch. Stop it, okay? Growing up with your father is a beautiful thing. It was required in the natural order by the Creator who created and authored all of our lives. So argue with your mama, don't argue with me. Because I know what I'm goddamn talking about. What you talking about? Can't be much. We ain't listening. We gotta go. We gotta go. I done touched on everything, and if I didn't, the Lord knows best. Anything that I said that was right and exact is from Allah. Anything that I said that's off, it came from me. You know what I mean? He speaks through me. So anything that I said that was an error, like how I corrected what I said last week, I pray I catch it or somebody point it out to me that I may correct it and rectify it. Because what I refuse to do is mislead the people. I was called to call my people back to Allah, and it's only one way, and that's the deen, the Sirat al-Mustaqim, the straight path back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ameen. And with that said, we gonna get up out of here, but before I go, I'm going to play a little bit more of this mood music I'll tell you about. You hear me? You hear me? Cause it's like that. And that's the way it is. That's really though. What we about to do now, I'm gonna play 2 more songs before we go, along the lines of the 2 songs that I played in the beginning. You feel me? We gonna go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? And I normally don't play these songs that I'm about to play. You know what I mean? But it's necessary today. I normally don't play these records. Just like I normally don't talk this long. But today, it's very befitting that I do it. So without further ado, shout out to the men that sped up.
When you and me,
Huh?
M-A-K-N-L-O-V-E, I remember the first time. When you and me, F-U-C-K-I-N-G. Picture us married, Queen, you and me. M-A-K-L-O-V-E. I remember the first time, Queen, you and me. F-U-C-K-I-N-G. My heart cold like Cleveland niggas in February. She tried to sentence me to hell. I ain't Robert Kelly. Scoopers love me. I'm the male version of Aaliyah. I gotta wipe these young hoes begging me to leave her. Do I need her or do I just really want her? I got a son, but I wanted her to have my daughter. I guess some people don't mix like fire and water. I guess that's what she was shaking when we stood at the altar. Heavenly Father, please deliver me from evil women. The black man is God, but these hoes sacrilegious. Sorta like Lost Wife, Delilah, or Jezebel. They try to put a hex on you, then they wish you well. But no spell, but no curse can defeat the truth. If you don't want me leading you, then I'm leaving you. No spell, but no curse can defeat the truth. If you don't want me leading you, I'm leaving you. I'm a man that's fed up. I'm sick and tired, baby. And it ain't nothing.
Classic. Off that I Ain't Buying That Shit, released last year. If you ain't heard it, you slipping on your pimping. Catch the ism in the rhythm and get familiar. Huh?
Girl, it's too late to talk about it. Been married 5 years, trying not to get divorced. Was once full of life, now the marriage is a corpse. Love isn't coarse, and I heard it's not supposed to hurt. A high value man, and I know a woman's worth. I'm out to put her first, even when she put me last. For better or for worse, when she caught up in the past. Anxiety about her future, I live in the now. My leadership is God-given, how she in the now. Can't treat me like a child, I'm a man and a half. The embodiment of God's mercy and His wrath. I would've never put you and your babies in the street, but since you made that bed, baby girl, that's where you sleep. Ain't even trying to be discreet. You reap what you sow. Can't make her be a housewife. You can't say these hoes. No soul in my soul, never been for sale. I ain't gonna lie, say I wish you well. I'm a man I'm sick and tired, baby. And it ain't nothing she can do. It ain't nothing she can do about it.
Really though?
I'm tired of struggling to love. I'm tired of struggling, baby. Yeah, it's too late to talk. Girl, it's too late to talk about it.
Sing that shit.
I don't know what you was told, but I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Oh yeah.
Really though? If you know, you know, nigga. Huh? It's still love, beloved. Picture us married, Queen, you and me. M-A-K-L-O-V-E. I remember the first time, Queen, you and me.
F-U-C-K-I-N-G. Picture us married, Queen, you and me.
M-A-K-L-O-V-E. I remember that first time, Queen, you and me. F-U-C-K-I-N-G.
You don't wanna find out the hard way. Girl, listen to the song while the record plays.
Let Minister Farrakhan tell it to him.
You won't have a man because a man can't be a man when he's settled down up to his neck in debt with a dissatisfied woman. Don't have a man, she want more and more and more.
Let me tell you something, woman.
We ought to take you and throttle you.
They ain't catch the minister when he did this lecture,
I'm
huh?
just telling you straight up.
Straight up.
You don't want no man like me. You couldn't live with a man like me.
Because I would not take that damn foolishness from one of you. For 1 minute I drive you
to the door.
Teach, Father.
I don't like no woman to dominate no man. And I don't like no woman who even try.
Not at all.
Then you see another side of me.
Yeah, before we go, I'm going to do one more out the door. I talked about double standards and what's good for the goose being good for the gander. You know, for years, men been getting crucified, put on child support and this and that and whoop-de-wop and blase blah. And it was business as usual. It was he, ha, ha. It was all you need to support, you know, the vomit talk. So now the tables are turning. Now these sisters are being put on child support. Uh-oh. And them don't like that. No, they don't like that. But this ain't about what you like. See, over here, we not on child support. We support our children. I'm gonna let Bubba Doug talk to you this time.
Now my baby mama keep calling me. Won't you just take me off child support? Why in the would I do that? You crying about $750 a month. That's what we doing now. Now you gonna pay your motherfucking child support and you gonna be a mother. On the weekends, your funky ass better be over here to pick them up. Don't let me call and look for you.
We got a motherfucking agreement.
I got them through the week. On the weekend, they yours. So stop calling me. Yeah, harassing me. Your brothers in the college threatening me. I don't know what they gonna do. You gonna hear back up there? It's been over 5 months. Stop shooting your back. Like I said, I ain't trying to start time. Undefeated coach is what you want.
So get my I'm your idol, your highest title, numero uno. I'm undefeated in family court, just letting you know. Keep that same energy. Bitch, go get my child support.
My son, 9 years old, silly rabbit chasing for kids. Go eat some cereal. I knew when my son turned 3 years old, this day was gonna come. You know how the story goes.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. I remember trying to be civil. This hoe was lashing out. I remember karma showed up. This hoe was crashing out.
Had the nerve to take me to court trying to rig and cuss me. I done beat her 3 times in court.
Since you wanna go back and forth, go get my child support. You don't do shit for my seed. So much for woman's worth. Hoes in they masculine energy. They not nurturers. They wanna ride the cock carousel. Your son's observing you. Do the sons a favor and tell them to run from hoes like you. Do the world a favor. Bitch, don't have no daughters that's like you.
To me, like the champion.
I'm the A side, telling hoes like these rappers. Bitch, don't quit your day job. Really though? Bitch, go get my. Hey, I'm your idol, your highest title, numero uno. I'm undefeated in family court, just letting you know. Y'all ain't praying when fathers get crucified in court. Keep that same energy. So get my
Idol, your highest idol, numero uno. I'm undefeated in family court, just letting you know. Y'all ain't praying when fathers get crucified in court. Keep that same energy. So get my I'm your idol, your highest title, numero uno. I'm undefeated in family court, just letting you know.
You know. Keep that that same energy.
Well, how about you help me find a husband?
Let Big Mama talk to
I
him.
need about 60 years old. So it's doesn't matter. It ain't the oldest. It ain't the youngest. It's the treatment.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm. It's not the oldest. It's not the good looking. It's not the one got money.
Which one it is?
It's the one.
Can you buy
There's
that?
some good men out there. But what it is now, it's the women. It ain't the men no more. The women going bad.
You gonna flip the script on us?
I ain't.
Yeah, it's the women I'm going.
You gonna woman
You
yourself?
a woman yourself, Big Mama.
I'm a woman myself, but I don't do half the things I see these women do now.
They don't care no more.
That means the men don't respect them. Let me
Message.
tell you something. You got to give a man respect to get respect. As long as you respect him, ain't too much he gonna do wrong.
And that's really though. And on that note, we gonna get ready to go. You know what I'm saying? It's some requests in the chat. I can only play my music because if I play other people's music, which that's a classic, Forget Me Nots, if I play that, they might hit me with a copyright strike and all that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not my music. I don't own the rights to that. So I can't do special requests. I can only give you that Black Dollar sound because they can't flag me for my intellectual property and my creative prowess. You feel me? But we might do a little remix or something like that. But I got to get ready to go. Oh, we've been talking for 2 hours. God is the truth, ain't it? And when you stand with Allah, you escape time, man. Time fly when you speaking the truth, and the devil been a lie. So I gotta get ready to go. That's really though. We gonna get ready to land this UFO. You feel me? Shout out to the Mother Plane Melodies alumni, the Spaceship Music, the UFO Flow alumni, the AEP Poetry alumni. You know, Black Dollar vibes. I appreciate you for tuning in with me and indulging in these superior facts. This is Big Muta Ali, Mr. Muta Ali, Ariana Ali, God Body MC, 216 Steve Lando Hydro, Kaya Slaughter County, KING. I appreciate you for tuning in with me and indulging in these superior facts. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and all that. Peace. Black Dollar. Holla. Make sure you get healing before you ask somebody who hurt you. What my man say on Sex Your Chocolate on Coming to America? You feel me? Sex Your Chocolate!